press
Hey
record,
everyone!
and I press
As you
stop.
guys already know, my name is Mary. The reason why you're watching this video is because I decided to try and pursue the honors credit for Brian's class. This means I had to figure out a topic that I wanted to research, write a 4 to 6 page paper about it, make a video about it, and then write a 2 to 3 page reflective essay about it. That sounds like fun, right? In all honesty, it was. Brian gave me a lot of time and leeway for the project, so I basically could research whatever I wanted. And research I did. I decided to research why or how The Simpsons could be so successful. As many of you already know, The Simpsons has been on TV for a very long time. So long, in fact, they are national television's longest running show. Ever. That makes it kind of hard to believe they started out as an animated short on The Tracy Ullman Show. But they did, and ever since their big debut in 1989, The Simpsons have achieved a fan base that some shows can only dream about. But why? What makes this show What does this show have that shows like Family Guy and South Park don't? Family values, that's what. The Simpsons is arguably one of the few animated sitcoms that doesn't get its laughs from raunchy jokes or Homer falling down a flight of stairs. The Simpsons portray the ideal American family, or any family in general. They have proven that one doesn't need to be perfect in order to be loved by their family members. For example, in the episode Simpsons Roasting on an Open Fire, which was the first full-length episode of The Simpsons, by the way, Homer takes up a second job as a mall Santa in order to save Christmas for his family. Well, why the hell does he need to save Christmas for his family, you ask? Bart actually ran out and got a tattoo, and the Simpsons family spent all of their money they had to get it removed. Now, I'm sure there are very, very few families who have a 10-year-old who runs out and gets tattoos, but this is something individuals could relate to nonetheless. Even though Bart was obviously a total badass that year, his parents still wanted him and his sisters to have a good Christmas, so Homer did whatever he could in order to make sure that would happen. In a more recent episode entitled Replaceable You, Bart and Lisa have to endure something that many siblings have to deal with sometime in their life: competition between siblings. What happened was, Lisa assumes she'll take first place in the science fair like she does every year. After all, she is pretty intelligent. However, in this episode, Bart steals the spotlight from her with a cute robotic seal he creates for the science fair. This obviously causes Lisa to become jealous, and she is smothered by Bart's shadow until the robotic seal goes crazy and tries to kill everyone in the retirement home twice. But anyway, as I said, competition between siblings is so common, even I myself have experienced it at one time in my life between my sister and I. No matter what, though, Bart and Lisa always come through for one another. Speaking of Bart and Lisa, let's take a closer look at them, shall we? If those of you watching remember anything from the 90s, I'm sure you will remember the Bart Simpson craze. He literally was on everything, from t-shirts to lunchboxes. All one could see was a vast yellow land that was constantly saying things like, "Eat my shorts." His sister Lisa didn't get the same fame, but she is still significant nonetheless. Bart and Lisa could not only be relatable figures, but represent adolescents and young adults alike. Now I know what you're thinking. Um, I don't relate to those characters at all. But Lisa and Bart do share some qualities and desires similar to that of maybe not the people watching this video, but individuals who watch The Simpsons in general. Bart is an underachiever, and damn proud of it. He does whatever the hell he wants, and he just wants to have some fun in life. Right there, that's something worth talking about, because honestly, who hasn't had a little Bart Simpson in them at one point or another? Lisa, on the other hand, is quite the opposite compared to her brother. She's an achiever. Actually, this gal is an overachiever. which in turn doesn't earn Lisa a lot of friends. In a recent episode entitled Lisa Goes Gaga, Lisa overcomes self-esteem issues that were caused by her lack of friends with the help of Lady Gaga. Although this clearly isn't a situation many people would come into, there are young girls everywhere who have self-esteem issues. Luckily, though, Lisa's parents are always there for her. Speaking of Lisa's parents, Homer and Marge Simpson. Who the hell are they, and why do they matter? They are by no means the perfect parents, but they still do whatever they possibly can in order to ensure the happiness and well-being of their kids. Homer, for example, definitely has his moments, but he has proven for the last 23 years that you don't have to be a perfect dad in order to be a good one. In the episode Love is a Mini Strangled Thing, Homer has to go see a therapist after accidentally publicly embarrassing Bart. Homer ultimately becomes nicer to Bart, and Bart, being the little hellion that he is, took advantage of that and started acting out even more. So, Bart and Homer ended up seeing the same therapist. However, when the therapist ends up getting so frustrated with Bart he tries to strangle him, Homer saves his son's life. I know, that's not exactly the best example considering Homer also strangles Bart from time to time, but he saved his kid. He wasn't going to let someone else hurt Bart. And a better example, in an episode that I couldn't find the title of, baby Maggie sees her beloved toy gnome set on TV. Why is this? Well, Krusty the Clown tells the families currently watching that a local gas station is having a promotion with the toys. Buy $10 worth of gas, get a free gnome. When Homer sees that Maggie desperately wants a special gnome to complete her set, he literally spends hundreds of dollars filling up his gas tank and trying to win that gnome. He doesn't succeed at first, but all is not lost. At the end of the episode, Homer robs the gas station, not of the money that he lost or any of the other gnomes, just the one gnome that his daughter wanted. When push comes to shove, Homer comes through for his kids, which is what a good dad should and does. The next Simpson parent is one fierce lady. She's been on the cover of Playboy, and she has also written a letter to a former First Lady. If you don't believe me, Google it. Like Homer, Marge loves her kids. Very, very much. So much, in fact, that she'd wash an entire school's laundry just so her daughter could go to the school of her dreams. In the episode, Lisa Simpson, This Is Not Your Life, Marge does exactly that. Lisa finds out at the end, though, and sacrifices her own happiness for her mother's. But the gesture that Marge made for Lisa was still a big theme of the episode nonetheless. Most of us have grown up with The Simpsons, and for those of you who haven't, I'm sure you've either heard about them or watched an episode or two. From the Bart Simpsons of the world to the Homers, there is a little bit of these characters in all of us.